Hi Floss viewers, today is Saturday, July 9th, 2022, and this is episode 3 of Running with Scissors, Stitching with Jane and Julie. And the last time I checked, I'm still Jane.
And I'm Julie. Welcome. How exciting.
Episode number 3, it's the trifecta, baby.
And it took us 3 times to get the video.
My lottery ticket, somehow all the technology came together.
Oh my goodness.
Before we get started, once again, I'd like to take a minute to thank all of you who watched video number 2, left really kind comments. It's great to hear all the enthusiasm for giving some love to Shepherd's Bush and some Hardanger, and your love of the America piece that Julie had last time, which was stunning. So we read all of the comments, we try to answer them. If we don't get to yours right away, it's just because I'm on the computer 12 hours a day, and sometimes I don't want to be on the computer for a 13th hour. But we will get to your comments, yes. I promise.
And I would like to thank everyone who visited my website and who was kind enough to place an order. Yeah. That was really amazing. So we're going to start out with some fun stuff today.
We have a lot of fun stuff today.
A lot of things to talk about.
Before we start, though, I want to talk about the beautiful piece that's in the room. Can we talk a minute about Today I Choose
and
Joy?
I'll take it down because this isn't as
We're going to
big.
risk concussion this time?
Yeah, might not be able to get it back up, but we'll take it down. I saw this saying many places, internet, stores, all over. It's not my original words. But it made me think that sometimes when you're having a hideous day, if you could just choose joy, if only for a moment, to share some kindness with someone, look at your garden, eat a cookie,
of course,
whatever. Just a moment of joy can kind of reset the whole day. So I stitched this piece on 32 count cream Belfast, and I used Weeks Dye Works in, I can't remember what color green, nor can I remember the color purple, but we'll have it in the link.
Your favorite green or purple, but we'll have it in the description box.
Yes. So that was my piece that I designed last year. And now I'll attempt to put it back up on the wall.
And you can still get this?
Yes.
Okay, on your website?
Yes.
All right, awesome.
Is it straight? No. Oh. Okay.
Sometimes it's hard to remember. Life is so busy and so much comes at us every day that joy sometimes has to be a conscious choice. If you are not a person that automatically wakes up joyful.
Is real. Okay, so the joy is going on the floor. We are not going to edit.
Let's be glad and rejoice that neither one of us got hit in the head.
Yeah. All right, well, that was so smooth. Geez, where do we go from here?
Up, I guess. The only way is up. So life comes at us. Life is sometimes hard. If you're not a person that wakes up joyful, sometimes joy is a conscious choice.
Yes.
And sometimes just saying out loud can be enough to kind of start your world to spin in a different direction.
Correct.
So, yeah, let's give it a try.
Yes, I should have tried it when I was hanging that picture. The attempt. The struggle is real sometimes, people.
I think one of the appealing things will be about the channel is that the viewers will never know what kind of blooper reel they're going to get when they join.
Yeah, because we're not editing. We had trouble.
I'm not editing.
we had trouble today just turning the camera on. So, of course, we had to call our technical support person who lives a block away, and she was kind enough to get dressed and come over and help us. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
I don't know.
So, Jane, what did you stitch on this week? Let's get started.
All right.
All right.
Again, thanks for asking. Yeah. I made a little bit of progress on Life and Liberty by Shepherd's Bush. I just want to take a moment to show you this beautiful project bag. I'm going to flash the front because there are patterns in there. This is by Sagan Stitch, and I found her on Etsy. And not only is it incredibly well made, The pocket is very deep, but it was blue. So I had to have it. Yep, I had to have it. So just a reminder, here is Life and Liberty. And here is my progress. We have a smaller ooh-ah board this week. He now has a hat and a face and an arm. I did the flowers.
And a shirt.
Yeah, I do still have to fill in his shirt, but that seems like a good evening activity because you don't have to count.
Yeah.
So I will do that. So that was one of the things that I worked on.
He is so cute.
I really am enjoying him.
I just love his little hat.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying. He looks a little angry right now. He's supposed to be clutching the flag right now. He just looks like he's making a fist. Ooh, liberty! And then I have a new start.
Oh, well, I'm unaware of this.
It's a surprise. I know a lot of folks are doing Jolly July or Christmas in July. I don't do a lot of Christmas stitching. I'm more of a winter stitching person. But I was digging through my stash of things I'll never live long enough to stitch. And came across this, and I really wondered why I hadn't. Oh, Lord, help me. This is Oh Christmas Tree by All Through the Night.
Look at all the little hidden treasures in that.
And you choose the variegated silk, overdyed cotton of your choice. I am stitching this on 36 count Lakeside linen navy bean.
Of course you are.
And I am using Dinky Dye's overdyed silk seagrass.
Oh, silk.
Yeah. So this is my progress so far.
Ooh.
It's a lot of fun, but you know what? It is not a fast stitch. The pattern is very dense and it's very busy. So you have to count. We've well established the fact that I am count challenged.
Yeah.
Especially when I'm tired. But it really is a lot of fun, and the silk is just a dream to stitch with. So
I'm looking more like a nightmare even to start. I'm with silk. I don't know why I'm so afraid to try silk.
I think we have to take you through some kind of silk conversion therapy or something.
Well, I will start soon because I've got a surprise. So.
Okay.
So 2 cross stitch things you were working on. That's pretty awesome.
And then I didn't make any progress on Sophie this week. I'm sorry if you were looking for an eyelet count update.
I was.
Maybe next time. Okay, updated count for Sophie. 0 done in the last 2 weeks. But I did make some good progress on this. So as a reminder, I am doing this doily out of this Classic Creations 4 book. Sylvia Muir, I love her patterns. I think I have all 4 of these books.
Yep, I do too.
And Julie does not have to listen to me complain about eyelets because I finished the eyelets.
The eyelets are done. Now we are on to
buttonhole. So here is the progress.
I just love the tone on tone color.
It really is a perfect match.
It's so rich. Yes.
And so that leads me to a couple of things. Here's a friendly tip from me. When you start your Hardanger piece, you're going to want to take a piece of pearl cotton or floss or whatever you have handy, basting thread, and tie a bow to the front of your piece. And you want to do that for a couple of reasons. When you start your piece, when you're doing the cluster blocks and the surface work, it's going to be very difficult for you to tell the difference between the front and the back of your piece. And there's no worse feeling in the world than to pick your piece up, think you've made all this great progress, only to discover you're stitching on the wrong side of the fabric.
Yep.
So that's important, being able to tell the front from the back. The other thing is when you're doing those coveted eyelets, eyelets, when you stitch them, have a certain spin to them. And for consistency's sake, you want those eyelets to spin in the same way. And so you always want to start your eyelet with your thread at the top. Here's my tip. Do yourself a favor and use a contrasting color when you're doing it, because I was like a drunk driver with like turning the piece to try to find the top. So that's my friendly tip. It was, sometimes it was like, Jesus, take the wheel. I don't even know where I am. That's my friendly tip of the day. When you get to the buttonhole part, you do have choices to make. And so one of the things I debated was whether or not I wanted to do kind of the traditional squared buttonhole edge or whether or not I wanted to do a rounded edge. Because this is really a square piece, I decided I was going to do a squared edge. But Julie and I were talking about how we don't really consider the rounded edge very much. I think I've done one piece with it, and I can show you that in a bit.
I don't think I've ever done it. I've seen it done, and I've seen it charted, but I think I would just get so hung up after 25 years of doing square, I'd really be tripping myself up.
Yeah, it is kind of a shift, but it's easy to do, and Julie was kind enough to chart those. So here's your little Hardanger heaven for today.
Well, I charted out just the basic.
Here, and then they can see you.
I charted out just what a basic buttonhole corner stepped edge looks like and how you join it to form the next buttonhole stepped edge. So that's kind of a visual, only then to show you in comparison the difference where you've got the squared edge and then you've got this rounded, and the only difference is that corner thread is stepped back one to give a rounded edge. It doesn't look like it would make that big a difference, but it softens it a little bit.
And the difference is very subtle.
Yeah, and either one is right. Just make sure whichever one you're doing is consistent through the piece. You don't go, oh, was I doing rounded? Was I doing squared? Sometimes what I've done as reminders for cross stitch or Hardanger, when we go back and forth between them, like in a cross stitch piece, I will make 3 X's to signify I use 3 strands, or 2 X's up in the selvage to signify I've done it with 2 threads. And on this one, I would make just a long stitch, a horizontal and a vertical long stitch to indicate that it was a square. Just as a visual. You can kind of use your selvage to put little reminders, you're basting. No,
Do you mean a reminder in your selvage as you take a Sharpie and write it in your selvage, or do you not?
Jane, oh my gosh. I just want to interject that on this piece that I was doing. I'm not doing eyelets on this. So I put one on the top and the bottom marker thread.
Idea.
Because when I was working going this way, of course you turn your fabric, I'm like, oh wait, was that the front or the back? And the reason why we may struggle is later on another episode I will have a diagram of how I anchor and bind off. Some teachers and book illustrations will have you wind your pearl cotton on the backside under 3 or 4 or 5 cluster blocks. And I didn't like that unsightly look on the back. And so I was challenged to figure something out. So I have a method where the back side, this is the front, and then the back side.
Just as flawless.
Yep, because you're anchoring and binding under 1 cluster block, and I've never had one work loose. Where I've had the tails that you weave under, I've had those lift out with general movement, and then you go and clip it, and you don't know when the last clip is going to be the one that releases the edge of your cluster block. So but we'll do that another time. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but I wanted to show that you can put those little tags multiple places on your piece to indicate the front and the back of your design.
And I'll just show a finished piece that's cut out. This is one of Julie's designs. This is Holiday Hardanger.
Is that mine?
Yep, but you can see this is a squared buttonhole.
Just looks a little crisper.
Yep, just looks a little crisper. Also, one of Julie's designs.
In the same book.
This is pretty in pink.
Yeah.
You will see that this is a rounded buttonhole.
Let me get it way up to see. Let me see. Am I focusing in? See how it's a little rounded?
Yeah.
And it's softer?
Yeah, very subtle difference. Purely your choice.
No rules.
Just what you want your aesthetics to be. But I don't know that we talk about rounded buttonhole very much in this very small, delicious piece of the needlework pie, which is Hardanger. So we wanted to bring that to you today, just to know.
Yep.
Hardanger presents you with a lot of choices.
It sure does.
That's one of the reasons that it's hard and there's anger.
And eyelets.
Yes, lots of eyelets. I will get back to Sophie and I will get back to some eyelets. But the other thing that I found interesting, you know, last time we talked about how my some of my eyelets had love handles, and that was really making me crazy. This one is done, the yellow one is done on a 28 count even weave. It's Jobelan. And interestingly enough, I had very few issues with love handles on the even weave. So it'll be interesting if that's really a thing, or if I just had a better eyelet day than others when I was working on the even weave. And maybe I was more careful about it because I was hearing Julie's voice, pull that tight, get that corner in there.
Well,
get down and give me 10 push-ups.
How about this? When you're working on linen, you've got that thread that's a tiny hair, you know, and then you got a little chubbier one.
You got the slubs.
Well, maybe, you know, when you pulled your first stitch, you had pulled it with a
shrub?
Yeah, 2 thicker threads than you did. Or who knows? Yeah.
Probably because I was doing them.
I don't know. You're so hard on
So
yourself.
that's everything I worked on. How about you?
Well, I kind of gave you a glimpse of this. I did finish the cluster blocks all the way around. This is a different kind of cluster block. Instead of over 4, 4, 4, it's over 4 threads, 5 threads, 6 threads, 5 threads, 4 threads. So when you put the adjoining row, you don't have a hole for an eyelet. This way you avoid that. But
I find it very ironic that what she's choosing to stitch in her pleasure stitching, no eyelets.
no eyelets. I did enough over the years.
Your eyelet days are over.
Yeah. Well, and this, now I'm ready on this piece to go ahead. I'm going to cut in between here is going to be cut out. And I'm not putting the buttonhole edge on yet because I think I'm going to do a lace edge. Maybe for some of you who are well versed in Hardanger would go, oh, I've not seen the lace edge.
I would love to learn how to do a laced edge.
Yep, so I'm going to cut on that, but I finished this. That was enough. We took our first vacation with our new travel trailer. And
Camper Julie.
and it rained one day. So I did do a little stitching, but I'll talk about that later. But I did great progress on this Garland fair. And I actually put it on a scroll rod. I found this when I was digging through my stuff. So
that is a really cool size.
I did make some progress on this. It's red. It's kind of showing up burgundy.
It's such a great color.
But this is kind of a cool little lap stand. I sit with this on a pillow, and it allowed me to go behind quite freely. And it was a smaller size, and I thought, hey, I wonder if that's why I bought this, because I thought it was
less bulk.
Yeah, and it is, I'm sure they're still available. It's the lap stitch. I just happened to bring this with because it was on the packaging. It is
I might
beautiful
have to check
things.
that out.
Yeah. So Start something new. Have works in progress, she says. It'll be fun. Well, I did. Okay, so at the last show I was at last fall, I picked up this pattern because my granddaughter Bella really likes horror movies and spooky stuff, and not me, but I thought she might like this.
Look at that.
It's by Sue Hillis. I've not bought a lot of her designs until this show.
Oh, and look at this great, look at that great alphabet.
That's the band that goes all the way around. Now, of course,
so cool.
I bought the box. I'm going to paint my box gray. I did decide that. And look at, I even got the little casket to do. So those are the little component pieces. So as much fun as this is to stitch, there was a lot of setup. I bought, look at this fabric. I'm going to line the inside with this. And I'm going to pad the bottom with this for contrast. How much fun was that at the fabric store?
See, you're so good with that. I mean, you know, I would need granimals in the fabric store too, but I am really bad about knowing that you don't have to have a solid color with a pattern. You can have two patterns together.
Yeah.
And play with it. I probably wouldn't have put those two together because I would think one is swirly and one is straight lines. But look at how great it is.
I was thrilled to be able to find them in the tone because they have it stitched on, maybe you could look up the fabric color, I believe. It's I did not look this time. Country Vintage Mocha, which looks great with the box, you know, because the box is your craft brown. I went with cobblestone gray.
Oh.
So that way, here I've got a board. That way you can see the dark grayness of it. Ooh, I'm gonna make y'all nauseous. We should have a Dramamine warning. So I just think that will look real striking with all that.
That will be great.
So the setup was, you know, you had to cut the piece for the box, the piece for the band, the piece for the inside of the casket, the outside of the casket, and I think I cut a piece for the pin cushion. I'm not going to do, I believe at this point, the tape measure. But yeah, so I did a little bit of stitching just to establish it as a whip. But the setup for this all was kind of involved to cut and then zigzag and, you know, and measure.
Logistics, man.
Cutting linen is not fun when you have a shaky hand and double
It's not fun when you don't have hands that shake either.
So yeah, that was my, that was my start.
Oh.
So we'll see.
Very cool.
Now that we're home, how much I can get done.
And what color did you say this was? You said that it's Cayenne, right?
Cayenne, and I also forgot to mention last time, this is stitched on 32 count Country Vintage Mocha. And when you get it, make sure this particular fabric, to give it that vintage hand-dyed look, it's stamped. Okay. It's stamped on one side, solid on the other. So when I got it on the scroll rods, I'm like, well, maybe I might want to do this on the stamp side of it. So I had to turn it all around. So when you order that, notice that it's stamped on one side and solid on the other, and you'll want to do your stitching on the stamp side.
That's a good tip because some stamped fabrics are stamped only on one side. I recently went on a fabric binge.
Oh, I think it was a buying jag.
It was just terrible. And I bought a lot of Picture This Plus, which are beautiful. And they were stamped on both sides. So you have a choice there too. If there's one that looks better than the other.
That you ordered that stack of fabric, that's what hopes and dreams are made of. I just could not believe that. I'm like, seriously, what happened?
You can come and visit anytime.
I'm going to. I think I need a piece. I might shop in your drawer.
I think I have to have my husband take my phone when he goes to sleep because I am an insomniac. I have been since I was a little kid. And so I'll maybe sleep 2, maybe 3 hours on a good night. And then I'll watch Flosstube. And I'll see, oh, look, it's Brenda and Laura. Oh, look at that fabric. Oh, look, it's the Handwork Maniac. Oh, look at that fabric. And then pause. I have to go immediately. And then before I know it, the next morning I get an email. Your order has shipped. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
That's when you bought
what did I buy?
that one time you bought that expensive handbag. She goes, what
Yes.
What did I do last night?
I had an unexpected illness a few years ago, and I ended up in the hospital for a while, and then I ended up in a nursing home for like rehab and like whatever. And I was there, like maybe 3 weeks, and I got home, and my husband was like, there are some boxes that came for you. And I was like, really? And I open it, and here's this gorgeous but very expensive Doony and Burke handbag. It was blue, of course. But I'm like, I haven't used a handbag.
You carry your wallet.
I carry my wallet, or I have a backpack. I have no recollection at all.
Sleep shopping.
And
My daughter's guilty of that.
So I think now it's fabric.
Yeah. I go on Amazon and I'm like, oh, Catherine must not have been able to sleep last night. Look at all the things that she ordered, or her wish list was huge. Yeah. All right. Now, let's see. Moving on. I just want the record to show no notes.
We're totally off the rails today.
No notes, no script, no little, don't forget to say this. I am running with scissors.
We're flying blind.
This is Julie Unplugged. So I believe now we go to finishes.
We can do whatever we want.
Oh, well, let's try to have some,
okay,
whatever the word is. I would know if it was written. I would know what to say, a smoother transition. Take it away. What did you do?
I have no finishes.
Oh, well.
But you were kind enough to go through the drawer of no return yesterday and pull a previous finish. So I will share that.
Well, it's still finished. It's just like not still smoking from you finishing it yesterday.
No, because then that actually would have been a current finish and not a previous finish. This, and I don't have the pattern. I'm sure it's around somewhere. But this is the Gratitude Sampler by Shepherd's Bush.
It is just beautiful.
It's a very fun, meaningful stitch. I have a lot of fond memories of this because it was my first trip to the cabin in over 2.5 years.
Yep.
And we were able to spend, I think, almost a week out there. And so gratitude was at the top of mind for me. And I think the shepherd must have quite a bit of gratitude for all that real estate.
Yep.
And I have to tell you that once I started on all of that grass,
it was a daily text. I'm still doing grass.
But and it was kind of daunting at first because it's all overdyed silk, and so you're doing like 1X at a time. But it really went a lot faster than I thought. And there's this really cool part here.
Yeah, it's specialty stitches,
where
right?
Specialty stitches, and so there's some nice texture there.
Yeah, very nice.
So yeah, Gratitude Sampler. This one I'm not promising anything. You're my witnesses. I didn't promise. This one may, at some point, escape from the drawer of no return and be framed.
I get to bring him to my guy.
You're
a framer guy.
You're a framer guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I haven't seen him in a while, so he'll say, where have you been?
It was great, and there are a couple of rows of pattern darning here. This purple roll right here is pattern darning, easy for me to say, and then this row right here. I had never done it before.
I've never done it.
So when I came to the band, it took me like a minute or two to be like, what is this? But Tina's instructions are very clear. I took a deep breath and a swig of whatever I was drinking at the time.
Your cool, refreshing beverage.
No, it could have been an adult beverage. We're at the cabin. All bets are off. And did those. So that was a lot of fun. And I've subsequently done a few samplers where there's pattern darning.
Yeah.
Now I'm fearless. And the other cool thing about it too is I got to practice my 1/1 skills on 32 count.
For what?
All of the lettering is 1/1. on 32 count.
Good Lord. Oh,
Very simple.
Not to horn in on your over 1. I did not realize that on this sampler, the little saying is over 1. I'm like, wait, what? Yeah, but I've done over 1, but I didn't plan on doing it. I didn't want something over 1. But I'm looking at it going, well, it was charted very peculiar. And when I looked, I'm like, oh, man, that's over 1.
I'm going to throw the gauntlet down right now. Prepare yourself.
Okay, I'm prepared.
If you can do those over 1 on 32 count, 40 count is next.
No.
Yep.
That's
40
math.
count with silk. That's my challenge to you, my friend. One of your next projects.
Oh, I don't think that's a friendly challenge at all.
It's friendly. The comments will show that the people are in my favor.
Yes.
And they're going to be like, Julie, you can do it. 40 count with silk. Go. Julie.
Stop it.
All right, I'll behave.
Okay. That's
all I got.
Okay.
Unless you want me to crawl under the table to the drawer of no return and pull something else
we can't get out of here until Catherine releases
We're
us.
From time to time, I'll probably pull some things out of my finished
Well, a
drawer.
finish is a finish, and they've not seen them, and they are too beautiful not to share.
I haven't seen them in a long time either.
I said, Jane,
like, I
pulled
stitched this?
I said, is this the gratitude sampler? She goes, oh, where'd you get that?
Where'd you find that?
I said, I was in your drawer. So, yeah, a lot of cool things coming for fall. Because you and I kind of rock fall, too.
Fall and winter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good things in there.
Well,
I spy with my little eye.
Yes. Okay, so we're up in, at the North Shore. And it rained. So our new travel trailer has a sofa. So I thought, I'm going to stitch. I have my little sofa spot. Tom has his lounge spot. I have a spotlight right over my head. That's why we bought it, because there was a spotlight right over where I would sit. And I'm
It doesn't have a kitchen,
no,
but there's a spotlight.
for stitching.
It's ours.
So I thought, I'm going to stitch on this Sweet Honeybee Shepherd's Bush thing that I started. And so, it turned out so cute. But there was a problem because I didn't have a needle. When we showed these last week, I took the needles out of everything. So I'm like, I don't have a needle. You've got to be kidding me. So I'm like, wait, I brought the Hardanger with. I didn't take it out of there. So I am stitching this with a 22 tapestry needle, which was like using a knitting needle. I mean, it was like, but I remember you saying once, I love how the feel of the floss through the fabric. Yeah, that's what it was like with that big needle.
Silver lining though, the needle was easy to thread.
Yeah, it was very easy.
There was less licking involved to get it through the needle.
But I wanted to have this finely finished.
Oh.
But my wood guy has a shoulder injury, so it'll be soon.
An accident-prone wood guy. Fewer things sadder.
Yeah. So when he's able to back to the saw, I'll say, if I got something to cut for you, I'm going to tell him.
I love that.
Fun.
I may have to stitch that.
It was really fun. So, and then, now I didn't finish this.
There's more. Okay,
yeah,
I'm gonna take a sip.
Because I did finish this earlier this summer when you and I were stitching together. And this is a Prairie Schooler leaflet number 16. Is that what it says, Jane?
Let's see. 138, I think. You were 158.
We're
16. You were close. Because math.
I forgot to carry the one. I'm going to compose myself behind the board. Okay.
Oh my gosh.
So here it is. Oh, you do it.
Okay.
This is going.
Oh, look
This
at that.
is why
Okay.
Okay. Now, this is stitched on green fabric. Because I can't remember. I stitched this before we actually were going to do a video, so I wasn't keeping track of what it's
And
on.
it's it's a beautiful
hand-dyed green
yeah.
fabric. I think it's 30 count.
A little sagey, but maybe with a little more blue in it than sage. Oh, it's beautiful.
And I'm going to finish this when my wood guy is up and
you're going to do
cutting.
a block?
I'm going to do a block. Yep.
Do you think that Christmas tree one would be good as a block?
Yes, that would be good as a block.
Maybe I can borrow your guy.
Yeah? Well, I will talk to him. Now, Jane hasn't seen this either. Now, I guess I was a fan of Sue Hillis because I bought this at another show. This was several years ago. And I just thought I would do a couple of these. The way that they had the models done were mounted on black candelabras, which Bella and I found at the thrift store. So I've got a whole like tote bag of black wrought iron candelabras of all different sizes. Some are scuffed and grungy and I might leave them, but then there's that part of me that thinks, well, they need to be sprayed pretty black.
Okay.
Yes.
Last week you were talking about how you like grunge.
Mm-hmm.
And we established grungy Julie.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're saying you're going to get rid of the grunge?
Well, I don't know. I'll have to see how it looks because I know there's going to be some glass beads involved. So then do I want it more finished or not?
Yeah.
But
these are great.
Then again, or here again, there again.
Everywhere again.
These are stitched on purple.
Purple linen. Oh.
Yeah. So I chose a couple that I like the best. So that one is which one?
Trick or Treat.
Trick or Treat. And then I have this one. Is so cute.
Oh.
That one is the Boo one. And these were fun stitches to do. And you know how I like to do everything black anyway, so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, red and black.
So, and then this Hocus Pocus one.
And you even ironed these. There's another difference between me and Julie. She will actually lovingly iron and press each piece after she's done. Just toss it in the drawer.
You just bought an iron a couple months ago, didn't you? Yeah.
And?
Well.
I may plug it in.
Okay. Well,
someday.
Now I'm gonna do something like a shameless plug. I do have another finish from several years ago, but I wanted to kind of showcase this because I wanted people to see that you can do Hardanger more than just in doilies. So this,
look at that,
is, does it focus?
Mm-hmm.
That's cross stitch with some Hardanger. And what this is it's a little needle, or it's a little folded case. And this side is for the scissors, petite scissors. And the other side is for a tweezer. And of course there's ruching. And the back is like
a suede.
Like an ultra suede.
Yeah.
Yeah, with grosgrain ribbon. I was telling Jane this morning, if you ever have anything with ribbon and it frays and ravels, I just ran on the edge of it some fray check. Then the thread won't pull. And a tip for that is...
This is chock full of tips today.
It is, but why not? Why shall we just have all the knowledge in our full heads?
Why be a tip hoarder?
Yeah. So a gal told me in one of the classes that I was teaching that she put fray check on the edge of her silk ribbon, and it was on the kitchen table and had accidentally touched the pizza box, and it wicked the color of the pizza box all the way up the silk ribbon. So I always make sure that my ends are free hanging off the ironing board once I've put the fray check on the edge.
And can you still get this?
Yes, oh yeah, I did. And it's in a shiny thing, but we're doing so much better with our lighting, aren't we?
Continuous improvement, that's what we're all
This
about.
is the kit. And it comes with everything you need.
Look at that, including the scissor and the tweezer
and the metal mounting forms, the silk ribbon, the flosses, the pearl cotton, the girl grain, the striped fabric, everything that you need. And I do have
floral abundance.
Floral abundance. So that's an oldie, but a very fun stitch. If you just want to
everything you need.
Everything you need in there. So that is that.
I think I have that somewhere in my Julie stash.
You might. She's got a basket of stuff of mine.
I do. I have nice? My Hardanger stuff is in like little fabric cubes, so I can access them easily and kind of dream of actually being good at Hardanger someday. And one of my cubes is Julie designs and kits.
And I didn't make her like buy it or anything. It was all voluntary interest.
Part of a barter system.
So, if I had a program typed up, it would now be, did you get any delightful deliveries?
I did.
You did.
I didn't get a lot, except for the fabric, which I'm too ashamed to show.
I'll tell you about it later.
No, that's okay.
Mind-boggling.
This is the thing that I dropped on the floor last time and was unable to pick up. This is a beautifully sewn quilted project bag from Judy of Buckleberry Quilts.
It is so stunning. I've sewn since I was a little girl, and the workmanship in these bags is really unbelievable.
You know, and here's her card. Buckleberry Quilts and all the places you can find her. Her email, Instagram.
Is she on Etsy?
Etsy shop. Mm-hmm.
I kind of just.
She regularly will post on Instagram when she gets new fabric that she's excited about. She'll post when things are heading to her shop. I took about a 10-year break from stitching and focused on my photography. And did that. That was pretty much my full-time hobby. I did art shows. I thought I was going to be like all artsy-fartsy and that kind of thing. And when I came back to cross stitch and I started watching Flosstube, because I didn't know that was a thing, I would see folks with these beautiful project bags. And I would think to myself, I mean, it's pretty, but why, why spend money on that when these are...
It's a bag with a zipper.
Yeah, and I'm a spiller, so this is automatic protection. And then I probably was the middle of the night. I was feeling sorry for myself. And I bought my first project bag from Judy. And it came, and it was very, very happy mail. And I lost my mind. I have a fair amount of my projects still in the plastic bags. And there probably will always be a fair amount. I mean, Hardanger is very bulky. And a little harder, I think, to squeeze into some of the really sleek, beautiful project bags. But most of my cross-stitch things that are in progress are in these beautiful bags now. And so I kind of, in addition to having a fabric accumulation problem,
She's a bag lady.
Yes, I am a bag lady.
Oh, but each one is just...
It's just beautiful.
More beautiful than the next.
Yeah.
I am a little jealous. I will. Jane did buy me one bag and gifted it to me, so I felt included because she felt sorry for
Part
me.
of the cool kids.
Yeah, so I do have that. But yeah, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
So what's in the bag?
Well, nothing that came recently, but I do have.
Did you get a delivery?
I did. I just told you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Without my list, I get a little anxious that I'm forgetting something.
Of course, no delivery would be complete without Shepherd's Bush, and I was inspired by Americana last week, so this is Flag.
Yes.
Monthly Musings flag, and I also bought the little buttons.
Oh, fun.
That came with it. What are the chances that when I come to time to stitch it that I will actually be able to find the buttons?
You have that problem.
Probably not great.
Yeah.
But
I lost the buttons. Although since we reorganized your room, we do have a miscellaneous
button graveyard.
Button cup with all the plastic buttons.
Well, that made me think of a buttercup.
Oh.
I kind of like one of those
right.
candy bars. And then this is Thoughts of Halloween. I'm a fall stitcher.
We are fall stitchers.
Yeah. And so I think this one will be a really quick stitch.
And that has a little button on it as well, or?
It does. I didn't buy it.
Oh, okay.
I didn't buy the button.
Is it a moon? Oh,
it is a moon.
Smiling moon.
Yep.
Oh, well, it won't be long, and you'll have that coming in the mail
and
as
then
well.
I won't be able to find that either. And then here's the July monthly
got
theme
to get in that club and stop
for color and cotton.
Me.
And this is 32 count Belfast haystack.
That's a beautiful color.
It's a beautiful color.
And it's hand dyed ever so slightly.
Very
it's not
subtle.
Real marbled. Yeah.
No, it's very subtle. But I'm thinking there might be a Blackbird or a Brenda Gervais in my stash that this would be really good for.
Very
and
nice.
Then the fibers came.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Recently we pulled a Brenda Gervais piece that I've always wanted to stitch. That Julie has stitched and fully finished and has hanging in her house. And I didn't have the called fors. So we went through my color and cotton stash and pulled out some fibers.
That was the rabbit, the boy rabbit pulling the wagon. Yeah.
Maybe I'll start that and be able to show that next time.
Oh, that's one of my favorite pieces.
But I was reminded, I mean, I got on the color and cotton bandwagon, I think, kind of early. And then, I don't know, I accidentally ordered a bunch of their overdyed floss.
You know what's really cool? Like when we sat down to pull the colors, we didn't have I think it was the color for his pants on this.
Yeah.
And I didn't follow any of the colors because I'm guilty of wanting it to look like the picture. And being someone who has published, your pictures never really, very seldom show up and turn out to look like the finished piece. But we played around with that. You didn't have the color for the pants. We were matching it to my stitched piece. And so she started going through her color and cottons and she goes, oh, I like this one. Let's make this be the pants color. So as much as we try to stay true to what the designer wants, of course, we will run with scissors occasionally. There were M&Ms involved in that little gathering as well.
Involved in that gathering.
But it's fun to pull, and like I said, I just got color and cotton last time.
Something that strikes me often when I come into this little room, which is now my art room. I am very lucky. I've accumulated a lot of things over the years, and for many years on the weekends I worked at a local needlework shop, and I did not get paid in a paycheck. I got paid in store credit. And so
dangerous.
It was very dangerous. And I was awake when I bought those things.
It was a conscious decision.
It was a conscious decision. I can't blame stupor on it. But I accumulated a lot of things. A lot of shepherd's bush kits. That was kind of the primary thing. But also some fabric for cross-stitch pieces and Hardanger pieces, a lot of pearl cotton, and a lot of overdyed.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't, unless it was a specialty thing, I should never have to buy another pearl cotton or overdyed floss again.
Remember when we used to joke when we were young about how when we were old and in the nursing home, we would just have them wheel in the shepherd's bush cart on Monday would be shepherd's bush.
I think right now they would need 2 carts.
And Tuesday would be this cart. Wednesday, they would just come to our room with what we needed to work on.
Yeah, and we would be senile and think we'd never, this is great. Where did you get this? And we'll be shopping out of your closet for the last, week.
Oh, it's so bad.
It's terrible.
It's so bad.
How about your delightfuls?
My delightful,
that's it for me.
Really? Mm-hmm. My delightful delivery that I was waiting for. Oh, clunk. Okay, so I've been waiting for this, And I did.
I've been waiting for a pattern like you.
It is. It's Warm Heart by Shepherd's Bush. I actually called Shepherd's Bush. I did not get to speak with Tina, but I did speak with a lovely woman who helped order this. So I bought you one.
Oh, thank you.
Not only are we going to stitch along, now this I found out, oh my gosh, has silks. Yeah. This is silks. And it's like, I don't know, 62 count it looks like to me. I don't know what it is. Okay. Oh, wait, on the back.
Look what they did.
I know. I didn't know what that was until.
Look at this.
Look at.
They put the needle in the middle of a snowflake.
Is that not just adorable?
That is adorable.
It's 30 count. It's 30 count hand-dyed dove with silks. What am I doing? But, you know me, like, oh, cool, that's neat. Yeah. Okay, so I got this box. I got a wooden box that we're going to paint. You and I are going to paint because I bought 2 boxes. And then in my stash, I had some metal mounting forms. So we're going to mount it on this. And then that's going to go on top of that. And we're going to either ruche the edging, yes, or we could put beads or something. So I think before I do that beautiful Liberty one you gifted me last time, I better try silks on something smaller. I mean, I'm not going to be a fool about it because
I have to start this afternoon.
Oh, sure.
While we're uploading to YouTube.
And waiting for lunch to be delivered. But do you think that would be something I could do?
I think it would be great.
Good thing there's a needle in it. This wouldn't work with the 22 needle.
The next purchase for Julie will be a needle book.
For in the RV.
One in the camper.
Yeah, for sure.
One near your stitching chair.
Okay, then I got this delightful delivery.
Oh, wow.
It's called A Love Song by 4 Oaks Designs. And it is, we had a board here for the back.
Got it.
You got one?
Mm-hmm. That is beautiful.
Now, Jane hasn't seen this, and to tell you the truth, I had forgotten I had gotten it. I was cleaning my office, and I stumbled on everything that had been sent to me. So, isn't that pretty?
That is beautiful.
And I think I will probably do that one in red, as it's done in red. And this one, I thought, well, I don't know if I'll do it for you, but it's Rhapsody in Blue. Isn't that cool? I'll take the pattern. So is it okay? Oh, now she's got it both. I'm not getting that back, ladies and gentlemen. But isn't that pretty?
That's gorgeous.
Yeah.
That is gorgeous.
They stitch up to be on 32 count. It's 16 by 16, so it's not too huge. I don't think I could do all of that on 36 count because then you'll tell me I have to use 1 thread, and I'm not. That doesn't. This is a big step for me. I mean, I feel like, I'll do it. I've got to get in the groove, right?
So this is needlepoint silk 324, which is the equivalent to DMC 3768.
But I don't have to do it in silk, do I? I could do it in an overdyed of my choice, right?
Yeah, as long as it's blue, because it's Rhapsody in Blue.
That's right, Bella. It's not Rhapsody in Purple.
There are some laws. If it says blue in the title, you have to do it in blue. That's beautiful.
Now, I've got something else. Wow. My final thing to share with you is, I know you've got your bags on Etsy.
Yep.
And I have gotten some wooden spools on Etsy for, it's so funny. I have this wooden water bucket that I got years ago at an antique place. And I put all my wooden spools in there. And Bella was just a little thing. I think maybe she was 5 years old. And we were putting up the Christmas tree. And she took one of the big spools and another big spool. And she goes like this. She goes, Grandma, I didn't know you lifted weights when you were little. I'm so old, they were wood. I'm
They were petrified wood.
So I bought a couple off of Etsy. I didn't know that I did something. I got some delightful downloads. I didn't know you could do that.
It is really instant gratification.
So I printed these three are from Victoria House Designs. And I printed them out and I did them in colors so I could share because, oh my gosh, is that not cute?
That is
and you know what I think I might do? I might do them individually.
Oh, yeah.
And make them into little things that I
Sure.
could tuck in. So I think I'll be doing 3 of those. Ruching may be involved. Maybe beads and something on the edging. We'll see. And then this one is 2 hearts, 1 love. I just love that.
That's great.
Isn't that a pretty one?
That is very pretty.
Yeah. And last but not least, sheep.
I think I have this one in my cart
Yep.
on Etsy right now. Oh, yep.
But I followed through with the download.
I love.
Having it in your cart doesn't count.
But
aren't they cool?
Don't encourage bad behavior.
So now I'm gonna dip in delightful deliveries and delightful downloads. This
Brilliant.
is you want to talk
love it.
about running with scissors.
We're running with something. Anyway.
So
that is. Oh, those are great.
my bin is empty. Our table is a mess.
Chaos.
So it must be the end, right?
It must be.
Must be. So sad. But
yeah.
we have fun.
We'll be back. Don't know if it'll be 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a couple of days, probably 2 or 3 weeks. We are looking forward to some family time at the cabin.
Yeah.
So my schedule might be a little unpredictable, but we will be back. Like it or not.
Yes.
So until next time, we wish you all the good things, health, happiness, and all the abundance of things that make you happy. Take good care, everybody, and we will see you next time.
Thank you so much.
Happy stitching, everybody.
Yep. Bye.